Good morning, everyone. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Good morning. Yes, you are audible.
Good morning, one and all. I am Amrita Pahadia from Bhabha Engineering Research Institute, Bhopal. It's my pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to 3, Session 2, Phase 2. IIC 4.0, that is Institute Innovation Council, in support with Ministry of Education Innovation Cell, AICTE, Government of India. So I heartily welcome you all in Impact Lecture Series, which is being conducted in Bhabha Engineering Research Institute, Bhopal. So today we are having an eminent speaker with us, Dr. Vikas, Pathak, Professor and Head, College of Veterinary Science and AH, Mathura. Sir has obtained his master's in 1996 and doctorate in 2002. He has more than 150 publications in his credit. So I heartily welcome you in Bhabha Engineering Research Institute, Bhopal, sir. Now I request our Vice Chancellor of Bhabha University, Dr. Manoj Mittal, sir, for welcome speech.
Good morning, one and all. Heartily welcome to Dr. Professor Vikas Pathak from College of Veterinary Sciences, Mathura.
Thank you, sir.
I welcome you on behalf of Bhabha University, Bhabha College of Engineering, and Dr. Ashok Jhala is conducting this lecture series, and this is the phase 2 of it. And this is a good initiative taken by Jhala sir, and this gives a lot of information and insight to our students who are pursuing their engineers and other perspectives of studies for their future. Once again, I congratulate Dr. Jhala for conducting these seminars, and I welcome Dr. Vikas Pathak from Mathura. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So we are all eager to listen to you, sir. I request you, please deliver your lecture. So I would like to tell you all that the topic that sir is going to deliver is IPR issues in agriculture and allied sector.
So my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Hold on. So again, a very good morning to all of you. I'm thankful that I have been given a chance to deliver a lecture on hyper issues in agriculture and allied sector. So before I begin with the lecture, I just take a few minutes to give information about my you can say professional career. So I am basically professor and head Department of Livestock Products Technology. So with specialization of it's a you can a kind of specialization of food technology in the veterinary science in the foods of animal origin. And I'm also presently Dean Student Welfare of this university. And I have agreed to this because I have because in our PD programs also. So this course is there, PGS 503, which has been recommended by the ICR. It is mandatory for all the PD students. So you can say incidentally or fortunately, I have been giving the you can say chance or entrusted the responsibility of taking this course. So I have been taking this course since more than 6-7 years. Although specialization is something different, but you can say with going on passage of the time. So I have also been you can say acclimatized or acquainted with some of the important IPR issues, especially in the field of agriculture and allied sector. So to begin with, Now, intellectual property rights, basically it is one of the galaxy in the universe of the law that whatever the creation of mind is there, so that is creation of mind of some individual. So anything or any kind of property, obviously it will be also owned by the some personals only. So these both the things, creation of mind and kind of property belongs to a person, and specifically whenever and it is all there, you can say, for the purpose of the business. Now, if we talk of classification of the property, basically, we can divide into two, you can say, broad categories: tangible and intangible. So we all know that tangible means that something which can be, which is there, you can say, in reality, and intangible means whatever the ideas or whatever the innovations we do, that innovations has to be, you can say, protected for, you can say, personal gains or gain of the organization. So if we talk of this, what is intellectual property, you can say we can formally define it as that right to protect the creation of the human mind, as I told you earlier also, that this, you can say, anything which has been created by the human being will be, you can say it will be for the, you can say, under the process of, you can say, intellectual property rights. So these intellectual property rights, they have been, you can say, designed to give the legal rights governing the use of such creation. Because whenever we are creating anything, a novel thing or any innovative idea, so obviously we need to protect those ideas or those creation for the use of, you can say, business, or for the use of the, you can say, rights, because anybody else imitating that thing cannot be owner of that creation. Now, this intellectual property rights, basically, it has come from the Latin word that is intellectuous, perception. It means perception. So perception is very common. I think most of the students engineering stream. So, you know that especially in your area, the innovativeness or perception is of great importance, because whenever anything novel comes, obviously it is a result of the perception, or it is the result of the R&D which we do for, you can say, to achieve the objective as purposed. So you can say it can be also termed as faculty of knowing and reasoning, because, you know, whenever we have any reason or any hypothesis we create, so that hypothesis will be achieved after we are going to, you can say, that the technical plan of work or other, you can say, experimentation by which we get the results, or you can say validation of the hypothesis. Then measurements of one understanding of person or things, events and concepts. Because, you know, now it's a global competition. We can say that international patents or patents developed by anywhere in the world can be protected throughout the globe. So it is of utmost importance that whatever the concept or events that have been created in any part of the country, that has to be protected. And I think that these all things from by the, you can say, existence of the WTO, GATT, and there were a lot of, you can say, rounds of the conference, and TRIPS is basically main, you can say, round, that where we get such kind of the IPR issues to be protected. So when we talk of these, you can say intellectus, or you can say creation of the mind, creation of anything. So the property is of very important. The property means one has in reality or in total, because property can be of anything. Property can be idea, property can be a machine, property can be a agriculture tool, property can be a medicine. So anything can be named as property, which has obviously come out of the perception of mind or creation of any individual, or you can say part of the organization. So we say that what one possesses to the exclusion of all other becomes his property. So as I told you earlier, that obviously it has to be novel. It has to be novel, it has to be different. So that is why that property will be, you can say, categorized under the IPR, or you can say as a bundle of exclusive rights, because that creation of the mind, if proven, it belongs to somebody or belongs to some organization or belongs to some team, that will become the, you can say, property of that individual or organization. Thus, you can say that intellect can be termed as source of ideas. The intellectual property becomes the property over the idea. This is very, you can say, important to understand, especially for the engineering students, because whatever we see in real world, apart from medicine, the engineering, you can say, profession has great opportunity, and they have proven their worth since it is old. We take any example, we take example of animal science, veterinary science, agriculture science, or you can say all the important creation comes from the engineering point of view. Because say for example, if we take the veterinary science, so diagnostics is very important. For diagnostics, we all know that we have X-rays, we have blood analyzers, we have image analyzers, we have ultrasound. All those properties or all those inventions have been created or have been the work of the engineers. Similarly, if we take the, you can say, agricultural tools, they are again, you can say created by the engineering. We have separate branch of agriculture engineering. I think you all must be aware, because in agriculture university, it is again a very important branch of the agriculture sector. Now, we all know that human beings, they, or we can say in the scientific term, we say it Homo sapiens. It is, we are social animals. So we again are classified as animals, and since we live in society, so have been categorized as social animals. And the human being has a personality of his own, which remains absent in the animal. Individuality is very important in human beings. Individuality is different as that of the animals, and it is again proven, you can say, science, that out of all the animals, the human being is considered to be the most intelligent, or it is supposed to have the intellect. So we can say intellect is regarded as exclusive possession of a man against all the animals. It can be said the property of a human being in the sense that it is the only way you are thought as of possessing it. So again, the meaning is same. What I am saying that whatever the whatever the creation of mind is there, it is creation of mind of the human being, and it is creation of the mind of some specific human being. So this is again, you can say, very important thing. And in fact, it is the quality that distinguish the man from the animal. We all know it. This is nothing. From all these points which I have been discussing to give the brief introduction about the IPR or property, we can say that the property of the intellect is the property of the holder of the intellect. So as I told you, that holder can be individual or it may be a collective team effort. So basically, intellectual property refers to some particular activity of the human intellect, because whatever we are doing for, you can say, creation of anything or invention of something, so that is obviously the outcome of the intellect of the individual or team. Then, as I have been telling you, that intellect or idea, it is a wide concept. It is cannot be, you can say, limited to certain aspects, because the ideas can be anything. Ideas can be even invention of machine. Ideas can be invention of the law or discovering of the law. Ideas can be invention of the equipment. Ideas can be invention of the marketing tool. So there are a lot of, you can say, ideas. Say, for example, we take the example of the Zoom. Obviously, it has been also the innovation of the human being, especially that when the time of the COVID pandemic was on, there was high kind of, I think, so that can be, you can say, categorized into, and the universe is the expression of the idea of supreme being. So whatever we are having in altogether around us, obviously these are the creation, and similarly every object has an idea behind its object. As I told you, that whatever thing we say, for example, door, say for example, fan, say for example, AC. So all those things which are existing, they are obviously because of the some idea in the mind, and the people have worked for it, and ultimately then also comes into the creation. So as I told you, everything, whether it is a material, whether abstract, or basically any other thing, owes its existence to ideas and to the faculty of ideas, that is intellect. Then same, you can say, I'll give some example with the reference to the theory of the labor. The earth and everything on it is common to all men. But again, every man has his property over two things: his person and what he has carved out of nature for him by his labor, skill, and intellect. So it means, because a lot of, you can say, graduates, postgraduates, they are passing each and every year, and a lot of professionals are working in some organization. But the innovations and patenting remains confined to the people who have worked for it or who have vision to do something different. And when they are doing something different, obviously their rights have to be, you can say, protected. Since the intellect is an integral part of one's personality and one's intellect play an important role in deciding what sort of labor his body be engaged into as well as what work his hands take. So again, it is a repetition that whatever we are doing, obviously it is owing to our vision, owing to our perception, owing to our hard work, because every objective or every hypothesis is not fulfilled. So hypothesis once created, it is very easy to create the hypothesis and it is very difficult to achieve the objective because sometimes our rather not sometimes most of the time hypothesis what we create is not, you can say, true or not what not will go as we have perceived. So that is again a very important thing. So if intellectual labor and intellectual skill are one's own property or characteristic, anything which comes out of an application of any or all of these is equally one's own. So whatever innovation, whatever discovery you do, that is certainly the property of that individual who has done it. So because this cannot be possible, and these things, they also promote, you can say, tendency to develop vision as well as tendency to do hard work, because it's a competition or it's a global competition. So if one is achieving something, so obviously the other people also try to go for the thing that one has already achieved. You can say at par with those things, at par with, say for example, I'll give you the example of planes. So say for example, F-35 has been created by the or have been created by the America. So similarly, J series have been created in the China. Similarly, MiG have been created in Russia, Mirage in France. So all those Rafales in France. So these are again, you can say, outcome of the particular idea, outcome of the particular effort, outcome of the hard effect, and that technology they are not giving to anyone so that they can protect their rights, and obviously they can have the business of those things to their own profit. Therefore, we say naturally a person should have the right to own which his intellect has been. So this has been agreed all over the world by, you can say, implementation of the WTO, GATT, that anything which has been created in any part has to be protected, and it will be the sole right or sole property of that individual or that team. So it is the proprietary right over the product of one's own intellect, which has been termed as one's own intellectual property. So this is the, you can say, basics for the, you can say, IPR. So this when we talk of IPR, so you will come to know that they have a lot of, you can say, classifications or a lot of divisions, like patenting, trademark, industrial design, copyright, geographical indication, depending upon the area of the Now these categories coming under the IPR issues, they have different scopes and different duration for a different purpose as well as effect. I'll be explaining it. Now this intellectual property is category of intangible rights, the rights which are not tangible, and to protect commercially be the valuable products of the human intellect. Now IP, intellectual property, refers to those innovations that results from the exercise of the human intellect and result in new technologies, new products, or new processes. The innovation that is protected by the intellectual property law is not merely an idea, but it is also an implementation of the idea. Because once it has been created or it has been invented or discovered, so that will be the sole property of that individual. And the idea of property of person, but it becomes impossible to protect it unless it has been implemented. So it has, this IPR has been agreed upon throughout the world by, you can say, to protect the one's right, and obviously the right of the country, right of the state also becomes very important in that. Like we all know the famous painter Leonardo da Vinci, for his favorite drawings, the Mona Lisa was a, so elegant drawings of the aeroplane may not be qualified for patent protection as invention because it is not a working model. It is not a working model because to draw something cannot be a, you can say, viable model, so, or you can say, so basically it is not utility. But the same drawing, on the other hand, can qualify for copyright protection because we all know you all are students, so basically must be reading a lot of books. So everywhere we have written C and circle C, so that is copyright, and especially it is basically for the printed material, or you can say that is very important, books, etc. That is, you can say, to write to the author or write to the publisher, that is there. Thus, the intellectual property rights include the rights of an inventor in his invention, an artist or writer in his creation, and even the right of plant breeders and farmers. Because lot of invention, biotechnology is there. So biotechnology has been used for the welfare of the humankind. Say, for example, we are producing insulin. So insulin used to be produced by the pancreas. But now we don't need pancreas to produce the insulin. We can prepare it artificially or synthetically by use of the biotechnology. Same is the case of the lot of the hormones. So the synthetic, you can say, manufacture of those hormones is much more cheaper than, you can say, preparing it from or processing it from any, you can say, organ or any product. And similarly, we see that the, you can say, the coming up of green revolution, coming up of the pink revolution, coming up of the white revolution, that has only been possible because of, you can say, some or other reasons. And biotechnology has played very important role in that. Now, special features of IPR, its entitlement is not limited to a particular physical body incorporating the rights, but it is present in all actual and virtual realizations of the intellectual. So this is again very important feature, that anything coming out of that, anything implementation of that becomes the intellectual right. Now, for example, writers rights are not restricted to the original manuscript of his work, because he has written only one manuscript. But the rights will follow each printed and published copy of the book and any subsequent reproduction of the work, authorized or unauthorized. So you must understand that you can say because whenever we are writing anything, obviously we will write a one copy. So publisher will take it, publisher will produce, but the right will go to the author, because author is the creator of that book or that written material. And even destruction of a copy or even of the manuscript does not result in extinguishing his intellectual property rights in the work. So once it has been granted copyright, you may do anything, the rights will follow to continue. And this is, you can say, feature is significantly different from other form of property and rights. Considering the special nature of intellectual property right, we need special laws for them. Even international trade regulations have also been formulated for the protection of intellectual property. So obviously, the countries join, and a lot of countries, they are member of all those countries which are member of the World Trade Organization. They eventually come into the IPR, you can say, consensus to the IPR rights. So anything which has been prepared or which has been invented, so becomes the intellectual right of that. So a bundle of rights, including right to reproduce, distribute, license, sell, and explore IP in any other way. Then moreover, unlike physical goods, intellectual products cannot be contained within any region, especially with the free flow of the information by means of the latest technology. So again, as I told you, that nowadays, obviously, the information system is very, you can say, effective and very, you can say, fast. So news, we see anything happening in New York is also broadcasted here also in our country and vice versa. So we may explore anything or we may invent anything, and you can say it will be, information will spread all over the globe. And the value of IP rights remains only as long as it is not infringed. Basically, the infringement, you can say, has to be curtailed, and if it is infringed, so obviously it becomes the legal issue. So therefore, there is as much stress on the substantial right as on remedial right. So protection is very important. Like creation is important, protection is very important. We have to do it because we need to protect our invention. We need to protect. So obviously, whenever we are having protection for FETRA, so there is, you can say, substantial scope of infringement, and obviously to contain that infringement or contain that copying, or you can say any false or fraudulent practices, there are, you can say, laws which can protect these inventions. So IP rights, they are the private rights, these are personal rights, or that person doesn't mean that in person, that may be any team, organization. And by means of intellectual property law, law confers an interest that is similar to monopoly with the sole purpose of stimulating innovation than creativity. Now, protection, how protection? Protection is granted to the right holder. Whenever we are doing it, so obviously that protection has to come up for the person who has been granted the rights. And it is not merely to convey an exclusive title for the creation, but rights to reproduce, distribute, and gain commercial. Because business is very important, money is very important, and you cannot do anything without money. So whatever creations are there, so obviously they have to be exploited for the, you can say, gain of uh, money or commercially exploitable. So this is become very important. Now, state provides a territorial protection to the intellectual property rights. However, now the rights have become commercial commodity, as I've been telling you, and from the core of the trading activities across the globe, intellectual property has been a global concept and international as well as national provision. So we do have national provisions, we do have international provision, we do have international or global provision. So protection is for, you can say, state, for the country, as well as protection from the other parts of the world also. Now, again, it can be divided into two categories: industrial property and copyright. So, industrial property includes patent, design, trademark, and copyright means literary and artistic work, books, music, anything, drawings, painting, etc. The progress and well-being of humanity rests on the capacity to create and invent new works in the area of technology and culture. Because if we are not doing anything new, obviously stagnation will come. And to meet the challenges, because challenges are arising from time to time, and we have to cope up, or we have to, you can say, deal with those challenges and overcome that challenges for the future growth. So again, we have to do new work, create new creation has to come up, and that will lead to the new invention. I'll give you example in that. Say, for example, if we take our agriculture. So we started agriculture, and with the advent of the, you can say, green revolution, we were deficient in the, you can say, producing even grain, cereals, etc. So when this green revolution came, where there was heavy use of the fertilizer, new plant varieties came, use of pesticides. So obviously those, you can say, arena, the agriculture production have flared up like anything, and eventually India becomes, you can say, leader, especially in rice, wheat, etc. But now again we feel, because the land is limited, and the, you can say, potential to which you can exploit it is also a very limited factor, and it is a challenge, or it is a, you can say, very challenging to further increase the production on the same limited land. So we have to go or cope up with the new technology, and the legal protection of new creation encourages the commitment of additional resources. Now, these resources come by the new inventions, new discovery. Say, for example, we take the medicine, we take the veterinary medicine. Earlier, there were few drugs we were going for the symptomatic treatment, but nowadays we go for the diagnostic process. Even in the human medicine also, there, say for example, we go to the doctor. Doctor doesn't prescribe the medicine straight away. He or she will ask you to undertake some test or some diagnostic test. Then after the lab results or reports of the particular test, the doctor prescribes the medicine, and ultimately we can see the longevity of the human being has also increased in our country. Now, again, these all things, what it leads to, new inventions are required because of the necessity. Most of the inventions, they come out of the necessity, and necessity, we all know that it is the mother of the all inventions. So any growth required can come because of, you can say, possible if the new invention are coming out time to time. Even you
Pathak,
see,
Pathak sir,
yes,
sorry for disturbing you.
Uh-huh.
Slide is not changing.
it is not changing.
Not changing.
Now,
No.
uh,
Okay. Changing this time. Okay. Now.
now it is okay.
Okay.
Now, we all know that you can say, as I was telling you, that for the continuous economic growth or any development, we need to have new inventions. And again, the inventions which are arising out of that, they have to be protected. Say, for example, we take the, you can say, our banking policies also. You know, they are also, you can say, type of ideas which are coming by some economist to, you can say, boost up the GDP or to boost up the economy of the certain country. So that is very important. Now, IPRs, they are, you can say, they generally exclude third party from exploiting the protected subject matter without authorization. So we cannot use anybody IP, intellectual property rights. So this is become very clear that without the authorization of the inventor or discoverer, no one can use those rights. And because of those, ये आपके भी ये दिख रहा है क्या ये कुछ ऊपर आ गया है ना इसके?
Yes. Someone create here.
ये पता नहीं कुछ हो गया. It is visible, na?
Yes.
Yes, sir, visible.
Yeah.
Visible.
But I don't know why these lines have come. Shall I?
Please do not do anyone.
I don't know why these lines have come. I'll just log out and again come. I think. Or it is okay, I should go like that.
Okay.
Now, what is the role of intellectual property business that I have told you? That most striking business development of the past quarter century has been the conversion of knowledge-based and technology-driven economy. Because, say for example, we are importing anything, obviously, apart from the grains or you can say commodity, you can say food supplies or natural things. Obviously, they have been, say for example, we are buying the tanks for the defense, we are buying the aeroplanes, we are buying the agriculture tool, we are buying the diagnostic tools, we are buying the engineering, you can say, equipment. So they are also, you can say, protected by the intellectual rights, and they are, you can say, whatever invention is there, that is boosting the economy, or you can say. So over only 25 years ago, the most valuable assets of most business were real estate, machinery, inventory, and other tangibles. Because it has come from, started from 98 or 99. India became the part of that TRIPS agreement. So before that, it was only for the things that were basically existing. So ideas, processes, technologies, they were not the part of the intellectual property. And many businesses of all types rely heavily nowadays based on the intellectual properties. Say, for example, you can say window is there. Say, for example, any software is there. So that is all creation of that software is not, you can say, any tangible thing. So software, they have become very important part of life. Antivirus tool, virus tool, then on the other hand, people are creating malware. So this is again, you can say, all a business. Now we come on basically that patents, they are essential to business in electronics, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, biotechnology manufacturing. And this is because patents can be used to, you can say, preclude competition from using new technology. So once the technology has been developed and patented, it cannot be used by other person. Then trademarks are there. I'll be going on those after some time. So they are also trademark. They are crucial to business which sell the goods, services, particularly packaged goods and retail. So wherever some you can say service industry is there, or say for example you can say some company is there, or say for example, yeah, all those have you can say company Bata have their own trademark, Liberty has. So Air India used to have their Maharaja trademark. And copyright, as I told you, copyrights and related rights, they are important for business in the publishing arts, software, music. You know, we are listening that usne mera music chura liya, wo software chula liya. So again, they have to be protected, and these copyright and related rights, they are very important for business in publishing arts, software, music, other entertainment, information, communication industries, including internet related industry, because those rights prevent any copying of such works. And industrial design, they are important to business offering to the consumer goods like furniture, toys, circuits, anything that has become the. Then confidential information is also there. It is fundamental to protection of the proprietary information, such as customer list, database, product formulation, and other technology, because you must be knowing that a lot of calls from the unknown number, they are coming to you. So anyone generating your data at any place, they are selling their data. So again, it has become a business. And you can say, as I told you, the importance of intellectual property in business is reflected in a number of ways, and the most important recent development of TRIPS. It is another is the high profile intellectual properties taking on legislative agendas of many national governments. So many mergers and acquisition, they are really purchases of technology, brands, content, and then in numerous recent multi-billion-dollar deals, they stated innovation of the purchaser was the acquisition of the target's strong bid, technologies and patent force. Thus, not only the genuine, or you can say traditional requirements, technical excellence, economic production, performance, marketing know-how, as well as financial strength, they are also encompassed by the setback. Now, kinds of the intellectual property rights, they are very important, and Some of them I'll be discussing. Now, first we come on the patent. Now, patents means the patent for any invention granted under the Patent Act. Then we have a Patent Act, we have all that. And it is an exclusive right granted to a person who has invented a new or useful article, so usually related to a tangible thing, but intangible things, they can also be incorporated. Say, for example, I am preparing a paneer. Very, you can say, simple example I am giving. Let's say, for example, I am preparing a paneer. So, somebody did it by use of the citric acid, and somebody used or somebody produced it by the tartaric acid or lactic acid by the different time temperature combination. So that process can also be patented. Then it consists of an exclusively right to manufacture or use the new article invented for a limited time. Then after the expiry of that, you can say time period, normally 10 to 20 years, then you can say right to exclude others. Basically, even there may be government sponsored monopoly or it will be excluded. Invention means new product or process involving, as I told you, involving an initiative step and capable of industrial application. Basic criteria of any thing which has to be patented. It should be novel. Novel means new. It should be non-obvious. It should not be, you can say, it should be inventive, non-obviousness. And it should have utility, because without utility, no. Now, new invention means invention of technology which has not been anticipated by publication, because we all know nowadays that publication is very important, especially in the field of the academics and research. Whatever we are doing, we are publishing our work in the form of journals, articles, research articles, in form of books. So obviously that has become very important, because once we have published any process or anything, that cannot be patented. So inventive step means again a feature of an invention that involve technical advance as compared to the existing knowledge. So it should be new, as I told. Novelty is very important, as well as it should have some commercial significance. Now, this has been quoted by the Abraham Lincoln: the patents add fuel of interest to the fire of truth. Because obviously they are very encouraging tool for the researchers to do the things which are new. And basically the purpose to gain the commercial advantage, and side by side it gives encouragement to the scientific research, new technology and industrial progress. So patent can be product, as I told you, process. It may be food, medicine, chemical, and patent term initially was 5 to 7 years, but now it is 20. So inventions which are not patentable, there are some things which are not patentable, which is not new, or which has got of commodity interest, which is you can say any method of agriculture or horticulture, a process of medical, surgical, curative, diagnostic, therapeutic, or other treatment of the human. Plant and animals are in any part of, including seeds, varieties, that is the presentation, topographic, integrated circle, they are all. Now we have to, this is a process which we need to not to discuss, because nowadays I'll suggest you that it is to inform that we have a legal cell law. So that has to be there. Now we come on the copyright. Copyright, basically it is a right given by the law to creators of the literacy, dramatic. This is again a very important part of the IPR. Musical performance, artistic work, producers of cinematography, film, sound. And in fact, it is a bundle of rights, including inter alia rights of reproduction, communication to publication, and adaptation. And that use of C, this surrounded, as I told you earlier also. And copyright in India, prior to the Act of 1957, the law of copyright in India was governed by the Copyright Act of 1914. And the Indian Copyright Act today is compliant with most international conventions and treaties in the field of copyright. India is a member of Berne Convention, where it was done, and it was modified in Paris Convention in 1971. Owner of the copyright, there are several author. In case of musical work, it is composer. In case of cinematograph, it is producer. Sound recording, again the producer. Photograph, the photographer. And now this is again not very important. And now again, very important part is geographical indication. So earlier we were talking that the, you can say, creation of something by an individual or by a team. Now these geographical indications, they are different. They are indications that identify a good as originating in territory of a country or a region or locality in the territory where a given quality, reputation or other characteristic of good is essentially attributed to its geographical region. Say for example, I talk of tea. It is basically which is Darjeeling tea, Chanderi silk, Ponam Chali, Banarsi silk. Then even in foods that we can say Halim, if you have, if you are knowing that you can say meat product from Hyderabad, it has given to the, then now, if we take off that, जैसे नागपुर है oranges के लिए, but if we talk of world, that Florida is famous for oranges, Idaho for potatoes, Vidalia for Washington for apples, and geographical indications, they are very important as far as wine is there, champagne, scotch, tequila, even cheeses, Roquefort cheese is there, then Swiss cheese is there, cottage cheese is there. So they are basically coming out of the, you can say, places, and they are not sort of patent by some individual, but they are, you can say, they are giving information that these products come from that specific region. So basically it originates from definite geographical territory, that is, and the registration for geographical indication is for initially for the period of 10 years, but it may be renewed from time to time. Now industrial design, these are very important as far as engineering is also there. They refer to creativity activity which results in ornamental or formal appearance of the product, and design rights refers to the novel and origin. Say, but this is basically again, I make a bed, a orthopedic bed. So that is again, you can say it may be a creation. or say for example some kind of you can say झूला ले लीजिए, या you can say some type of you can say bridges there. So any kind of furniture that can be again for protective for 10. So then comes trademark. Trademark is again very important because trademark is basically known as branding, and it is used for basically for the business, or gives us that there is a particular trademark for a particular company, and once the company has become very popular, so its trademark has become. Say for example, आप नाइक का जूता देखते हैं या आप प्यूमा का देखते हैं, तो देयर इज ट्रेडमार्क ऑन दैट, या स्केचर्स का देखते हैं, किसी भी चीज का देखते हैं, and the basic purpose is that they identify the goods or services and its origin, and it guarantees the unchanged quality, and basically it is a assurance of the quality. And this trademark protection was initially established in 1940, and now Trademark Act 1990 was there, and again it was amended in 2002. Then comes last but not the least for my point, that protection of plant varieties and farmer rights. Now these plant varieties, they are very important in agriculture, because breeders, they are coming, and breeders, they have play a very important role in any, you can say, increase in the productivity or increase in the production for, or you can say maybe they are reducing the gap between plantation and production, or harvest time is earlier. So that is very important. So this has been designed to encourage scientists, farmer communities for the development of new plant varieties having quality and production potential, registration of varieties for legal protection, characterization and documentation of registered varieties, ensuring the availability of the quality seeds of the registered varieties, establishing gene funds for rewards and compensation. So there are farmer rights. Though farmer rights basically who breed variety with equated with the plant breeder, so they are given farmer rights, and they if it is the, you can say, outcome of that farmer, so it will be given to them. Then breeder rights are there. Breeder rights, they are basically any breeder is there which is producing new varieties, so that rights will be given to the breeder. Now, the duration of the protection of plant varieties are different. For trees and vines, 9 years, extendable to 18 years. For other crops, 6 years, expandable to 15 years, and extend varieties 6 years, extendable to 50. So with these, we cover all of the important, you can say, aspects of the, you can say, IPR issue. Nowadays, we have the legal cell, because to get a patent is very is not a very, you can say, easy. Lot of, you can say, steps are there which are one has to go through to obtain a patent or to publish a patent. So that patenting is usually nowadays managed by the lawyers, and most of the good institutes, they have their own patent cell also, where they guide the scientists to how to go through the processes and how to get through the process. So for this also, that as you are all mostly engineering students, or maybe some there are agriculture students also, that obviously I can feel that it is the most diverse profession in the world. Engineering is the most diverse profession. Engineer can become anything. Not everybody can become the engineer, but usually it's a state of art, and they can go in any field even in medicine engineering go, because lot of, you can say, machinery is involved in making medicine. So that doctor is not making, that researcher is not making, that is being made by the engineer. So again, we can say that different startups are also coming nowadays, and those startups, they are basically, you can say, encouraged to promote this entrepreneurship program. And obviously we see that the jobs in the government sector, they are, you can say, limited. And obviously, so we all see that to, say for example, startup also, again, it will be a creation of the mind. So once you establish anything, obviously you need to protect your rights, or you need to protect your intellect, you need to protect your, you can say, and for this, you should have this basic knowledge of the processes, because even when we were students, or even when we were teachers, we produced so many things which could have been patented, but we could not do it because we published it. So obviously be careful, be vigilant, and be innovative, and contribute to the, you can say, society as well as nation. And for you also, making economically sound, because encourages economy, obviously promotes or encourages for the new idea. So with these things, I sum up here, and if there are any queries, you may ask me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. If you are having any query, any doubts, you can ask with sir.
I think very limited participants were there. I think mostly students. I think there may not be any students.
सर अभी काफी बच्चों को हमने रिमूव कर दिया एक्चुअल में, क्या जो मार्कर चला था ना स्क्रीन के ऊपर, तो हमें लगा कि बच्चे ने वो किया हुआ है उसमें, तो ऐसा नहीं हो कि आगे डिस्टर्ब करे, इस वजह से हमने उसको।
नो प्रॉब्लम, नो प्रॉब्लम।
सर एक पेटेंट के बारे में जानकारी चाहिए थी। 3 टाइप्स के पेटेंट होते हैं सर, जैसे सुना है एक कॉपीराइट पेटेंट होता है।
हाँ बोलिए।
हाँ, एक कॉपीराइट पेटेंट होता है, 2 और पेटेंट रहते हैं। तो सर इन तीनों पेटेंट्स में क्या डिफरेंस रहते हैं?
Basically, I told you there are not only 3 types of patent. There are several. IP जो है basically copyright, मतलब these are all coming under IPR issues. These
Yes,
are basically, as I told you, patents are basically for anything which is tangible. Patent, or it is a process. But if it is a artist, so obviously then it will be, you can say, going to the this copyright, musical work, literary work, artistic work, film production. Again, they will be under category. Then we have even industrial circuit and design. So उसके अंदर क्या है कि जो हमारे न्यू सर्किट्स वगैरह बनते हैं, उसके अंदर हम बेसिकली उस जगह कैटेगरी में ले आते हैं, या फर्नीचर्स वगैरह हैं, या कोई और चीज है, दे कम अंडर द डिजाइन एक्ट। कोई न्यू डिजाइन हम फॉर्मुलेट करते हैं, तो दैट कम्स अंडर द डिजाइन एक्ट। देन प्लांट वैरायटी से कोई चीज आती है, आज की डेट में एग्रीकल्चर हैज बिकम वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, कि उसके अंदर प्लांट प्रोटेक्शन, वैरायटीज और फार्मर राइट्स आ जाते हैं। देन अगेन अगर जो एरिया प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं, मतलब आप लोग भोपाल बेस्ड अगर आप देखेंगे कि चंदेरी जो है, इट इज फेमस इन So that comes basically, चंदेरी आप ना पेटेंट नहीं कर सकते. चंदेरी is basically originating from that region. So they will be having the geological indication. या हलीम है उसको हम पेटेंट नहीं करते, नागपुर के संतरे को हम पेटेंट नहीं करते. So these are the differences, and we have to put our application in the, you can say, most important, you can say, useful or reliable thing. अगर आप कोई पेटेंट कर रहे हो, कोई मशीन बना रहे हो या प्रोसेस कर रहे हो, तो वो ऑब्वियसली पेटेंट में आएगा. कॉपीराइट किताब अगर आप लिख रहे हो तो वो, या कोई आर्टिकल लिख रहे हो, वो कॉपीराइट में आ जाएगा. डिजाइन बना रहे हो तो, या सर्किट बना रहे हो, वो उसमें आ जाएगा. So that is the basic difference.
So sir, we have to keep in mind that we are applying for design, or we are applying for copyright, or we are applying for something else. So that has to be estimated by us, or the reviewer will estimate this, sir.
No. You have to review it yourself. आपको बड़ा चीज क्लियर होनी चाहिए. Usually you belong to also engineering profession.
Yes sir, engineering profession.
तो आपके देखिए, आप जो भी चीज करेंगे, either you will develop a machine, or you will develop a product, or you will develop, तो वो तो पेटेंट में आ जाएगा. लेकिन से फॉर एग्जांपल कोई सर्किट्स बना रहे हैं तो वो सर्किट में आएगा. मतलब ये आप ही को देखना है. मतलब कि जैसे मैंने आपको एक एग्जांपल दिया था, ये लेब्राडोर डू विंसी का, उसने एरोप्लेन की फोटो बना दी, और मतलब वो फोटो जो है वो पेटेंट नहीं हो सकती, बिकॉज इट इज नॉट ए वर्किंग मॉडल. बट सिमिलर, मतलब एट दैट टाइम वी कैन असाइन अ कॉपीराइट टू, क्या कहते हैं, दैट पिक्चर. जैसे मोनालिसा हो गया, उसकी आती लास्ट सपर हो गया, दैट कैन बी पुट इनटू कॉपीराइट ओनली. तो ये बहुत बड़ी चीज नहीं है. ये मेरे को लगता है आप खुद भी समझ गए होंगे सारे.
Thank you, sir.
So I think there are no more further questions.
अमृता
सर आगे रिसर्च के लिए सर आप गाइडेंस दीजिए सर. कैसे हम, मतलब वी आर फ्रॉम इंजीनियरिंग बैकग्राउंड, एंड सर
say for example that आपकी स्पेशलाइजेशन किसमें है?
सर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स.
इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स में तो ऑब्वियसली व्हेन यू आर गोइंग फॉर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स इंजीनियरिंग, तो उसके अंदर सर्किट्स वगैरह बड़े काम आते हैं आपके, बिकॉज एवरीथिंग इज बेसिकली सर्किट बेस्ड. सो आप उसमें कर सकते हैं. आप से फॉर एग्जांपल, दो आई एम अ वेटरिनरियन एंड इन veterinary university, but my work is more related to food technology. So even for effective or being good food technologists, we also need engineers, because food engineers, they do deliver much more than we deliver. क्योंकि किसी भी चीज को कमर्शियल, मैंने सपोज कर रहा हूँ आज की डेट में आई एम मेकिंग अ पैकेजिंग मटेरियल, तो मैंने बायोडिग्रेडेबल पैकेजिंग मटेरियल बना लिया बाय यूज ऑफ सम स्टार्चेस और लाइक दैट. बट ऑब्वियसली जब उस चीज को कमर्शियलाइज करेंगे तो वो तो एक इंजीनियर करेगा. तो जो आपका, बिकॉज सिंस आई एम नॉट एन इंजीनियर, बट ऑब्वियसली रिसर्चर, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड इलेक्ट्रिकल, दे हैव बीन वेरी, यू कैन से, यूजफुल. आज की डेट में तो जितनी भी कम्युनिकेशंस हैं, जितनी भी टेक्नोलॉजीज हैं, दे आर ऑल इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स बेस्ड. 5G आया, कई जगह पे हो सकता है 10G पे भी काम चल रहा हो. तो ऑब्वियसली दैट हैज कम आउट ऑफ द, यू कैन से, ईयर्स ऑफ द रिसर्च. इवन 5G भी जो मतलब आया होगा, काफी रिसर्च की होगी. 4G आया, उसके लिए रिसर्च की होगी. तो ऑब्वियसली दैट इज अगेन, you can say, intellect which is coming out of a particular mind, and how you want to apply it. Again, एक चीज बड़ी क्लियर है, we have to think differently. और यूजुअली जो है कई चीजें कंस्ट्रेंट्स हो जाती हैं बेसिकली हमारे लिए कि सिंस ये मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल इन द यूनिवर्सिटीज लाइक वी आर, तो हम एकेडमिक्स में भी इन्वॉल्व हैं, रिसर्च में भी इन्वॉल्व हैं, और तो डिलीवरी जो है बेसिकली यूजुअली हमारी नहीं हो पाती किसी फील्ड में। तो डिलीवरी के लिए वी हैव टू डिवोट एक्स्ट्रा टाइम, एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट्स, फंड्स चाहिए, सारी चीजें चाहिए। आपको प्लान करना पड़ेगा, देन यू हैव टू प्लान अ प्रोजेक्ट। आप मतलब डीबीटी से लेके आ रहे हो, डीएसटी से लेके आ रहे हो, या कोई और जो इंजीनियरिंग को स्पॉन्सर करती है, बिकॉज फॉर एनी रिसर्च यू नीड मनी ऑल्सो।
Yes. Thank you, sir. So I think we are ending up our today's lecture, and thank you so much, sir. It's really been a pleasure to have you here, and thank you for imparting knowledge and sharing your wide experience with all of us. And thanks a lot.
Experience or just my, you can say, course curriculum. Basically, the professional field is something different. But since I have been instructing this course for PG program, so I agreed it. But anyhow, thanks for your kind words. Thank you. So
thank you, sir. I request Vijayakant sir, please for vote of thanks, sir.
Yes, ma'am. A very good afternoon to all. My name is Vijayakant Pandey, President, ICCL Bhabha Engineering Research Institute, Bhopal. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this event to all dignitaries assembled here. I would like to thank our Chief Guest, Dr. Vikas Pathak, sir, who honored this impact lecture session with his inspirational lecture. I would like to thank our VC sir, Dean, Dr. Ashok Jhala sir, Principal Berry, and all staff members and all participants. Once again, I thank one and all present here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
I think we can close the Zoom now.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir.